inside. Joshua Germany makes it through the middle. Henry Morse takes the win. We got Charles Rainsford taking the win. Stephen King weaves down the straight and across the line. Donny Alpha Hendrickson, half a second clear. Here they go. Can Kieran break late and hold that inside line? There, is he going to have the inside? He tags Ray round and there's a big crash up the front. Hello guys and girls, we are back, we're live. There are some people in the chat already. They're here before I am. Speaking of early, let's have a flick through some of these comments. Welcome back to the Racing Line, first of all. We're back for round 2. Sorry once again for some streaming issues going to multiple channels, but we are now sorted live here on the Racing Line on YouTube, here on Twitch, on the Racing Line, and also over on VCO Esports and their YouTube channel. It's round 2 of the Jetta Cup. That's right. This is what the calendar looks like. Round 1 over there on the right-hand side was last week. This week we are around Okayama, and well, we've got a tight championship and there's loads of drivers out there. There's 31 we're expecting today. It's currently 30 on track, I believe. Cool. I just need to gather my head together really from all this stress about going live. What is chat saying? We've got Peter Jones in there saying buffering. We've got Two in Heck. Come on, you beauty, Alexander. So Alex's fans are already in the chat. That's on Twitch. Eloise Simpson says early this time, earlier than me. Exciting time, says Peter Holmes. Lottie and Freya says, wait, why am I here? Brian says a couple of seasons ago, this was a 1-hour race for SimLab. I wish they would bring those back. Yeah, Cadared says, what's up, my nerds? Jerry Agard says, howdy, boys. Good vibes, says Ibzen907. And Two and Heck says, evening, lads. So everybody jumping in chat straight away. Probably aiming to beat that 100 message goal relatively quickly by the looks of it. What are the championship standing? Cool, you are keen. Jesper Grieve says Donny. So Donny's got some fans in the chat. Practice is about to end, so have a quick look at those times. Once again, 30 drivers separated by 1 second out there in practice after 45 minutes. This is where we are. We're round 2. It's Okayama, the short layout. We did visit Okayama back in the day in season 1, which feels so long ago, but it was the full circuit and there was drama aplenty. We've got the short version now. Are we expecting it to be better? No, because it's a shorter track. Peter Ridley says, evening, everyone. Map, says Cadared. Everyone loves the map. Right, okay. Since it's changing over into quali, just for you, Cadared. Well, first of all, let's have a look at the little journey that we've taken. We started off in Tsukuba. That was round 1. We take a little coach journey over to Okayama all the way on the left-hand side. It's just a little bit north of Okayama, as you can see there on the dot. So that is the journey we have made across for Season 2. And as for the track, yes, we're all in a bus too, and heck, this is where we are. Okayama Short, Japan. The track is 2.09 kilometers long, 1.3 miles. There is 4 sectors once again, not many corners at all. There are 2 main overtaking zones from my eyes, and that is turn 1. You can see there where the speed trap is, the fastest point of the circuit, and of course, turn 4. There are 7 corners, and it was established in 1990. It's a relatively flat track, no hills. And to answer your question, Two and Heck, I guess we would all fit in a bus. Slipstream City, do you know what? Not really. I mean, slipstream is always important on these short little tracks, but I actually don't think that the slipstream is worth that much around here on this time. We need to pick a driver who to follow. But someone actually, before we do that, someone said about championship standings. Before we start focusing on qualifying, this is what it looks like after 1 round. No drop rounds, remember. So this is the actual championship order that we need to worry about. Jake Cranston, last year's champion, leads the way after 1 round. 59 points. But only 4 points ahead of Jack Lewin, a newcomer to this season. He did take part in 1 race last season. And then we didn't see him for the rest of the season, but he's back. And he's back with pace. Not that he didn't have pace to begin with. 55 points for his championship. 2 points behind him. Another newcomer, Alex van der Woude. Another independent driver, Jared Kaler. 3 independents in the top 4 of the championship, only 1 point behind Alex van der Velde. Henry Morse for Pulsar Esports in 5th place. Ryan Smith is currently 6th with 45. It's very close up the top. Morgan Burkhardt, Stephen King, Dan Blake and Jerry Agard, your top 10 in the championship so far. John Bailiff would have been hoping for more down there in 11th. Joshua Germany threw away a wonderful podium by spinning in the pit lane entry last time out. He gets 12th at the moment. Greg Otley, another newcomer, 13th. Chris Smith, Austin Farr, Kieran Dempsey, Carl Ridley, Andre Majorek, Jameson Huffman and Donny Henriksen rounding off your top 20. Donny, probably the most disappointed with his performance, but looking to come back stronger. Jerry Agard says, go Donny and Jake Bandit Cranston. Who's the most beautiful driver? That is Jerry talking about himself. You're allowed to vote for driver of the day today, Jerry, because you're not racing, but you can't vote for yourself. The bottom end looks like this. There are 32 drivers in the championship this season. Where did we get to? Ray Oliver, 6 points, 21st. Christian Ribeiro, 3 points, 22nd. And Jesus Mundre, your last point scorer with 2 points in 23rd place. Ika Lequay, Andy Fox, Martin Wallace, Seb Hall, Michael, Dan Thornton, Jan Weiswanger, Sam Fernals, Duncan Murray, and Dan Downing, your non-point scorers so far. So they'll be looking to turn that around. We'll have a quick look at the constructors, although it's a little bit broken for some reason. Pulsar Esports, your Constructors champions at the moment, 115 points, only 10 points ahead of Masters and Talk, who are going to be looking to take that title this season. Win it or bin it, 69 points in 3rd. ORD not far behind in 4th. Zero Folks Given Racing, a new team this season, 55 points, as is Down Under Sim Esports, 34 points. Meatball Motorsport with 14, and Lurchus Gaming looking to really push their way up that order with only 5 points at the moment. So they'll be looking for some decent results. Consistency is key. I don't know how much we can stress that. How close will Quali be, says Jerry Agard. Let's go Zero Folks Given, says Sway London. Win it or bing it. Should not get any more points, TBH. 69 is a mad number, says Tuin Heck. God, terrible sense of humour. I'm sure some of the YouTube commenters will enjoy that one. There are not points given for the most pit stops. Unfortunately not. Otherwise, Jesus would win the championship hands down. Answering the close quali question. Practice, 30 drivers within a second. Last time out, there was 31 drivers, within a second. Let's focus on someone. There is currently 5 minutes left. Jake Cranston is your fastest man. Who was fastest in practice? It was Stephen King. I don't see him anywhere, actually, and I don't know why. Am I going blind? Oh, there he is. He's in P4 at the moment. Currently in the pit exit. Here he is, leaving the way. Those numbers at the bottom. Orange means they're not beating their personal best. Green means they're beating their personal best. And if you see purple, they're going fastest of anyone in that sector. Jack Lewin goes P2, only 1/10 behind. I feel like I'm forgetting something. What haven't I spoken about? I've done championship points. We've seen the team order. I guess that's it. I'm just panicking because obviously we didn't go live in time. And here we are. Qualifying, 4 minutes left. I want to see an onboard. Pick, chat. Who should we do? Reverse grid. No, well, I could go through the order for those of you that haven't watched the Jetta Cup before. It's a 45-minute practice, which isn't streamed, of course. They've done that. We're in our 8-minute quali where all of them are on track at once. In fact, have a look at the track map. Who is leading that train? It's Kieran Dempsey, with Jack Lewin right behind, getting a lovely tow. He's currently in P2, only a 10th off of pole position. The top 5 separated by a 10th and a half. Jerry Agard says Donny. Olecki says go. Alexander van der Velde. I'm going to say his name properly forever now because I've realised I've been calling him Van der Wood, but it's not a problem. We've got it now in our heads. Look at the times. Half a second, 27 drivers. Madness. What was I talking about? The format. Sprint race after this 8-minute quali, approximately 15 minutes long. No pit stops needed in that sprint race, and you start in the order that you qualified. We then take a 10-minute break, and then it's the feature race, the big one. Double points from the sprint race, it is. So you get 24 for a sprint race win, you get 48 for a feature race win. The top 12 from the sprint get reversed for the feature race. If you finish in 12th, you're going to start on 1st. If you finish in 1st, you're going to start in 12th. But don't for a second think that it's not worth trying to gain those positions in the sprint race because, as shown last season, those at the top end of the field finished in the top 5 regularly. Peter Ridley says go. Duncan Murray. So Duncan's got some fans. Kieran Dempsey's pulling over. So let's go and have a look at someone else. John Bailiff. A little bit blinky there. He is currently following Christian Ribeiro. This is on board with John. Let's have a look at his dashboard. Let's see what gears he's in and stuff. He's currently in gear 3 through that hairpin section. What lap time is this going to be? He's currently in 6th place. Donnie Henrikson's off track somewhere. You can see that from the orange numbers. If their number goes orange on the left, it means they've gone off somewhere. A lovely tow John's getting here, but is it going to be enough to improve? No. Doesn't look like it. It's still two temps down. P6. Kayla's gone off somewhere. I will say, actually, let me just get rid of the gaps. Let's have a look at the times. How many people are in the 59 so far? This is what the lap times look like. Wow. I tell you what, 59 is no slouch lap time. I'd swear to you that much. And there are 4 drivers currently setting that pace. Dan Blake leading Morgan Burkhardt and Ryan Smith behind. Let's have a look at Jared Kayler. He's going into the pits, or Yared Kayler as his number plate says. Sporting a more appropriate livery for this week. The drivers will know that I was moaning about that a bit. Henriksen, 3 thousandths away from that 59 second mark. This is what he's doing, currently doing some donuts at the back of the circuit. He's going to be gutted he couldn't quite break it, but look how many people are close to breaking that 59 second mark. There's only 10 seconds left, that's why he's pulled over and had enough. Who's still out on track? Stephen King is still out on track. He was hoping for a pole position today. He couldn't quite get a 59 second like he did in practice, and the time has run out just before he crossed the line. Wow. Oh, he'll be gutted with that. I am sure he will be gutted with that. It's grid time already. Cool, this is flying by. Who'd have thought it? Let's have a look at that grid. We need to fly through it quickly. So, on pole position in the end. Jake Cranston does it by 1/10 of a second ahead of Jack Lewin. Carl Ridley in P3. Kieran Dempsey P4. Donnie Henriksen P5. John Bailiff P6. Stephen King P7. Chris Smith P8. Austin Farr P9. Joshua Germany P10. And Morgan Burkhardt and Jared Kayler round off your top 12. The next rows are Duncan Murray, Henry Moore, Stan Blake, Andre Mayerek, Martin Wallace and Ray Oliver, Sam Van Alst and Alexander Van der Velde down in 20th place. Let's just point out that 4/10 of a second Alexander Van der Velde was off of pole position exactly, and he's in 20th place. Ryan Smith, Andy Fox, Jesus Mundre, Dan Downing, Ika Lequay, Gregory Otley, Dan Thornton, Christian Ribeiro, Jan Weiswanger, Sebastian Hallmichael and Jameson Huffman rounding off the field in 31st place. Jameson's going to have to get some practice in beforehand. He's a late arrival, is Jameson, but he's definitely got pace. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. Let's have a look then. Who are we focusing on for this start? It's a lovely shot, isn't it? All of these cars on one grid. We have one less driver than last week. We do, to in heck. Jerry Agard, unfortunately, cannot be with us for this round and possibly the next one as well, as he lives it up in, I want to say Italy, but I might have just made that up. He's on holiday somewhere. We can't, of course, cancel people's holidays, although some people, Joshua Germany, I believe, has moved his holiday to break week. That's how serious he's taken it. He'll be looking for a strong result this time out. The lights are coming on. Here we go. We're about to start for the sprint race. 5 lights. And away we go. Here we are on our way, heading down towards turn 1. What are we going to do about this? Turn 1. Is there going to be a crash? They're all filtering down. It looks fairly safe at the front. That is a good start. We're going to see plenty of side-by-side action. Look at all the Lurchus gaming cars together on track. We need to see a bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a much better view of everyone. Now, turn 2 is the pinch point. This is a little bit risky through here. I'll tell you what. Wow. Look how many cars there is. Cheers from Florence, guys. I was right. Jerry is in Florence, so he's made it. Your leader is absolutely leaving everyone for dust, apart from Jack Lewin. Looks like Carl Ridley holding up the rest of the field back here. Is everyone going to make it through the hairpin safely? I'll tell you what, it looks like they have. Have they actually screwed their heads on this time round? The back end of the grid looks fairly safe as well. Lap 1 might be survived. There's 15 laps for this sprint race. I wonder what's going to happen. Who's going to come out on top? Cranston currently leads. 3 tenths from Lewin. 1.2 seconds down. Carl Ridley is already. There's a Masters of Talk car there looking extremely close to Kieran Dempsey. That is P5 chasing down P4. Is he going to send it up the inside of Dempsey, or are they going to work together? These two have raced regularly in multiple championships. So I don't think Donnie's going to do anything stupid as they head towards turn 2. There's a couple of side-by-siders here. Morgan Burkhardt and Austin Farr. There was a bit of contact up ahead. Who was that? It was one of the Pulsars cars. Green mirrors means Joshua Germany. There's a couple of nudges. I hope no one gets meatballs through there. They're fairly sensitive, these cars, this season. Someone got turned around. Did they, though? Two in heck. That is the question, because it looks like everyone's still fairly close together. Although I have seen that someone has crashed. So let's have a look. Ah, you're right. It was Dan Downen and Gregory Otley. Ooh. Oh, he was lucky to not get collected more there. Greg may not be happy with that one, to be honest. There's a bit of a... Might have to have another look at that, actually. In fact, I want to, because... Oh, that is a optimistic move from Mr. Downing, don't you think? Chat. Greg Otley absolutely trying his best to save that. And that is Ika LeQuay in the Lurchus Gaming car. Look at that for reactions. Moves out the way, and then you got 5 cars flying around that. Oh, I tell you what, I think he's actually quite lucky to survive that. That was not the best move indeed from Mr. Downing. He will, I think he got slated in the last chat. He's looking to gain some points this week. That'll be why. I think he was one of the non-scorers. That is Ray Oliver looking up the inside of Dan Blake, who then has the inside for the next hairpin. He's following Henry Morse through. Ray Oliver tucks in behind. Alexander van der Velden, Andre Majorek. No, Duncan Murray, sorry. Door banging their way down to the fast. Oh, it's going to get tight. I tell you what, though, look at that. He's made it around the outside. Is Alexander. Oh, he turns into Duncan. Oh, I don't know if I can say that that's Duncan's fault, to be honest. It was optimistic to go around the outside there. You could say that Duncan needed more apex. But at the same time, hell of a risky move for Alexander van der Velde to take it around the outside of the final corner. He nearly did it around the fast kink. Trying to take the Driver of the Day award by pulling off a hell of a move. Look at this lot coming through. Martin Wallace tucks in behind Ryan Smith. Andy Fox is looking to gain some points this week as well after a disappointing round 1. They're all going to be remembering round 1 and hoping not only to survive, but to gain those all-important points. No, Alex replay needs a chat with the steward. We can have a look at the Alex replay, to be fair. Just having a close eye on this because Jesus Amundere looked fairly aggressive then, but he hasn't hit anyone. He's got Sam Van Olst in front. A couple of people struggled to get past Sam in the last race, so might be the same this time round. Let's have a quick look at Alex's pass. Look at that, round the outside. And then I think just the way the track goes to the right, I mean, we'll have to look at that closer perhaps later on. I think Duncan... Oh, do you know what? I've just seen Duncan may have come into the pits. I wonder if he got a meatball from that. So they're side-by-side round here. Look at this. Oh, dear. From that above view, it actually looks more Duncan's fault, but we'll have a look at that later. We'll break it down properly. If he is in the pits, though, that is unfortunate. An onboard cam. Why did I not think of that? Too busy trying not to do too many replays, but I think we've looked at it enough. We might as well try it, eh? Where is Duncan's name? This is the onboard with Duncan. Oh, it's just so tight through there. Guelfio is saying no. What has happened for him to say that? It doesn't look like much has happened, to be honest. Dan Thornton's gone off track. He's had a little bit of an excursion. I don't think it was too bad of an off track. Is he going to go wide on the exit of this corner? Ooh, stay out of the wall. Good save for Dan Thornton there. Well done, that man. Let's get back to the live action now. This is Jesus Amundere's on board. He's looking up the inside of Sam Van Olst through turns 2 and 3. Can't quite get it done there. That's fine. This is what it looks like from the top of his car. Jake Cranston, a healthy lead, half a second ahead. Carl Ridley still holding up the rest of them. And Jesus Amundere trying to make his way through as Jameson Huffman moves up into 27th place, chasing down Dan Thornton now. It's still fairly close gaps across the field, and to be fair, everyone is still well in this race. So I'm glad they're keeping it clean. But anyone who is a long-term follower, I say long-term, we're only in our 2nd season, but a long-term follower of the Jetta Cup will remember that for whatever reason, when there's twice as many points on offer in the feature, people kick off. People kick right off. Oh, that's Andy Fox going a little bit wide there at turn 1. Let's have a look at some of the battles at the top end. We need to have a look what it looks like. This is Cranston lead in the way. Still fairly close between these two. Jack Lewin is absolutely not letting him go. And I'll tell you what, after this, if he finishes where he is at the moment, Jack Lewin is firmly cemented himself as a championship contender. No doubt about it. If there was doubt about it, after today with another P2, madness. Look at them all come flying around there. So you got another clear train of the top 10 there. So, who is the closest fight on track at the moment? I tell you, Dan Thornton looks like he's going to make some moves soon. He's looking fairly close. That is Duncan Murray down in last. So he's the only one out of this race so far. Leader giving up some time. It's looking fairly close at the top. Duncan Murray must have had a meatball, and that is unfortunate. It was the tiniest of touches. These cars are so sensitive. If there was one thing that iRacing needs to change, it is the robustness of these cars slightly, because they're really good cars to race. They're not too fast, and at the same time, door banging kind of is a thing as long as everyone stays on track. But for some reason, you get contact in that right place, you just get like the slightest contact, you get a meatball. This is what the train looks like at the front. This is on board Stephen King's nose. That is John Bailiff in front of him, the number 22. Oh, look how much they close up on the brakes through there. That's Donnie Henriksen. We've got some big hitters here in the mid-pack here. That is Henriksen up in 5th, Bailiff 6th, King 7th. Chris Smith behind in P8, leaving a bit of a gap to this train in front, hoping that something is going to kick off and that he can gain from this. Of course, that is actually a smart thing to do, as long as the person behind him doesn't try anything too stupid, which is Joshua Germany. Everyone's terrified of the meatball except Jerry. That's because Jerry's living it up in Florence with a margarita, an umbrella, and some olives. I've made that up, but highly likely. Nice job, Alex, making up 2 places since the crash so far. Alex will come back through and come back stronger. He is currently in the points, and now he's chasing down Jesus here in 19th. And you've got to say, I mean, it's going to get looked at later, but regardless of whether either one gets a penalty, it might end up actually being a warning, because they've both ended up losing out anyway. So you would argue that they've penalised themselves in a way. Sam Van Olst goes very deep ahead of Jesus there. Alexander van der Velde absolutely keeping him in check. I feel like we should stay here, because Alex is no slouch. He's going to be making moves soon, but I'm also looking at that gap between the top 2, which is now 3/10. So Lewin, with 5 laps to go in this sprint race, is closing that gap. It's still closing. They must be on the main straight. They've got to be on the main straight. They are on the main straight. 3/10 between them. Let's have a look at that track map. Jake Cranston, you can see the gap between them and Kyle Ridley, who's holding up Dempsey and the rest of the train. The Kyle Ridley train just had the best pizza ever. Ellen, can't complain, says Jerry Agard. Well, at least he's watching. He's supporting from home. As some people move over to make some moves. That looks like 3 wide up ahead. There's a Zero Forks Giving car in there. A down under Sim Esports car goes up the inside of Martin Wallace. That is Ray Oliver and Martin Wallace up ahead. And Andy Fox is involved in that as well. These are all points positions that they are fighting for. Andy needs to bring it home as he's got Martin Wallace round the outside of him there. Is Martin still there? He is. Oh, and there's going to... Oh, please. I don't know what that noise was that I just made, but I hope that's not a meatball for Andy Fox's sake, because that is going to be stingy if it was, because he's going to lose 3 places from that slight contact with Martin Wallace, who was on his inside of turn 3. Alexander van der Velde is going up the inside of Jesus and Mundere. They're 2 by 2 as they come through the hairpins. Who's going to come out on top of this? This is Andy Fox still. I hope he doesn't pit. There's 4 laps left of the race, so if he has got a meatball, he is going to have to. Alexander van der Velde around the outside of Jesus and Mundere. He's been in this position before, and they touch, and Jesus is round. Alex tags Jesus round. That is going to be, well, it will be looked at like the earlier one will. Jesus Amundere, and now they're 3 wide down the straight. Alexander van der Velde looking up the inside of Martin Wallace, and Sam Van Alst is up ahead. This is all for some measly points in the sprint race. 1 point rip, says Adolfo Uraburo, and for Guelthio, hands in the head. I mean, we can't put that, in fairness to Jesus, we can't put that on him fully right now. It was just Alex was trying around the outside, and there is which Lurchus was that making contact with Dan Downing. It's Ika Lequay is trying to come back through. Lurchus Gaming trying to get some points on the board, but this year's field is really strong as Ika Lequay goes round the outside. Just couldn't keep his nose there as Dan shuts him off on the exit. Wow. Jack Lewin's lost some time there to Jake Cranston. Sorry, I'm having mind blanks. Kieran Dempsey still right on the back of Kyle Ridley here. Kyle moving to the inside of turn 1. Kieran having to try and break late around the outside and get a switch back. Can he get it done? It's going to be risky looking up the inside of turn 2. It doesn't look like he can. Donny Alpha Henriksen's still there. King's actually dropped back a bit, but he has passed Bailiff. Can I find a replay of that? Stephen King did pass Bailiff. Where is that? What's this one? He hasn't done it, has he? Has he made the move, the risky move round the outside? Oh, there's contact. John and Stephen King going side by side around the final 2 corners. And Steve, that's how you do it, people. Round the outside of the final corner, both of them giving each other racing room. John Bailiff slotting in between him and Chris Smith, that is, who's going to the inside, and John harshly defends towards the wall, but he's entitled to do so. Chris may not be too over the moon with that as he tries to break late and go around the outside. This is a hell of a fight down the midfield. This is for the top 10 positions, though. That's why they lost time to the people ahead, because they are fighting as hard as they can as John starts blinking in and out. Austin Farr is in that group as well. He's had a good showing, a new driver in the season. Morgan Burkhardt ahead of him. With Joshua Germany ahead of them in P9. Currently on feature race pole, there's only 2 laps left, but that is Henry Morse, who's taken a sneaky feature race pole at the moment, as there was some contact up ahead. Who was that? Is it Stephen King trying to pass Donny Alpha Henriksen? Getting feisty up here. There is only, we're going on to the last lap now, so Jake Cranston going around the final corner. Someone has crashed. I can't see any big crashes on here, to be honest. Jameson Huffman's gone off track, as did Dan Thornton, but I don't think they're on the same part of track. So I don't think it was a big incident. I can't take my eyes off this, to be honest, because Jake Cranston and Jack Lewin lead the way, have absolutely dominated this sprint race. They're 3 seconds ahead of Carl Ridley, who still leads Kieran Dempsey in P4. But this is the fight I want to see, because there was contact amongst this lot. They're trying to make moves. They're trying to gain those positions as people are swapping places at the back as well. There's people battling all over the place. Look at these guys go 3 wide, heading towards turn 2. Andy Fox didn't have a meatball. Martin Wallace up the inside of turn 2. Bumps Sam Van Alst out wide. They're heading towards turn 3. Sam Van Alst has the inside of that. And Dan Downing's getting a bit of the action. Andy Fox is going to try and follow Sam Van Alst through, surely, and not make it 3 wide down this straight. You're not going to fit through there, Andy. You should have gone the other way, surely. As Martin Wallace tries to go around the outside, I'm going to miss the end at this rate. But this fight is looking too close to call. Jake Cranston and Jack Lewin are about to cross the line, but I want to see who comes out on top of this. Jake Cranston wins your sprint race from Jack Lewin, and Kyle Ridley is going to come across the line with Kieran Dempsey, Donny Alpha Henriksen, Stephen King and John Bailiff right behind. But where is this fight going to end, as Sam Van Alst has somehow managed to hold on to it, and Martin Wallace is going to defend, but can Andy Fox get him on the line? It's going to be tight. This is all for the final points. Chris Smith is slowing down somehow. What's happened to Chris? There's a big crash. I'm going to have to watch the replay of this fairly quickly. Oh, no, this is all after the line. Never mind. Ignore me. Can I quickly watch this? I don't know if it's going to cut me out, because it's going to end the race fairly shortly. Yeah. Oh, it's kicked us out before we could see the replay. That is madness. 20th place that was for. Who'd have thought it? Exciting stuff. What's chat saying? Thought I saw someone drop from 16th to 30th. You might have if I missed it. Out of fuel. What a melee. Absolutely. What a melee indeed. Phew, I don't know what to say. I think I need... Where's my water? We need to have a look at those results, because I've got a feeling that some of them were looking hella close. Heat 1. Show me those results. Show me those points. Here it is. And we do have some potential penalties to Inheck as well. There weren't too many, actually, to be fair. That, I can safely say that I am, and I'm quite a, I don't want to say perfectionist, got a bit of OCD. I think that's as clean as we could have hoped for this circuit. Yeah, you can cut out some of those crashes that we saw. That could have been avoided, absolutely. The feature race is next, and that's where people tend to chuck manners out the window, shall we say, for whatever reason, even though it's pretty much twice as long, and double points are on offer. Let's have a look at this then. Jake Cranston, 24 points, takes the maximum points and extends his championship lead. Jack Lewin, 21 points. Carl Ridley grabs a podium in P3. Kieran Dempsey, P4. Donny Henriksen, P5. Stephen King, P6. John Bailiff, P7. Chris Smith in P8. Joshua Germany, P9. Morgan Burkhardt in P10. Austin Farr, P11. And your sprint race pole position, your feature race pole position, sorry, Henry Morse with 9 points. I wonder if that's tactical from this young man. Dan Blake, another strong showing in 13th, just one away from that reverse pole. Jared Kaler, P14. Andre Mayerek, P15. Alexander van der Velde goes up to P16 in the end after having an earlier incident. So he's done quite well there. He's grabbed some points, 5 points. Sam Van Ols, P17. Martin Wallace gets some points on the board, as does Andy Fox, and Dan Downing breaking that. What's the saying? Breaking the duck? Is that a saying? Have I made that up? Do let me know if I have just made up a completely pointless and nonsensical saying. And your non-point scorers for today's race were Ika Lequay, who was fighting hard. Gregory Otley, who we saw get spun round by Dan Downing. Dan Downing, if he does get a penalty for that incident, I'm not saying he is, but if he does, it would move him out of that points playing position and actually put Ika up to get that final point. But it would move Dan all the way back. They tend to be 5-second penalties, so if he did get one, he would drop from 20th all the way down to 28th. So this is how close it is. You don't want to be getting penalties because that is the effect it can have. Sebastian Hallmichael, 23rd. Jameson Huffman, 24th in the end. Ryan Smith, not a good showing from Ryan. 2 of the ORD cars actually down there, 25th and 26th. I wonder what happened to Ryan. It might have been him. Someone said they spotted a crash. Ryan would have been up there. So I wonder if it was him and we've missed it. Ray Oliver, P27. He was fighting hard, as was Yeezus. He had a big crash. Christian Ribeiro down there. Jan Weisswanger and Duncan Murray. We saw have an incident at the start of the race. A very tiny incident, but a meatball, and ended up putting him in 31st place. It's not something you ever want to see. Well, sorry, need a drink. It is madness out there. People are practicing. I wonder, we do have time for a interview, but at the same time, you can watch who dropped back. Yeah, you can probably rewind on YouTube actually, so you can indeed have a look. I'm going to assume if someone did, it has to have been Ryan Smith, because he's definitely got more pace than a 26th or 27th. Great casting as always. Thank you very much. Compliments always welcome. Don't forget, I'll tell you what, this is a good time to mention actually. Don't forget, we're currently live on here, the Racing Line YouTube channel, but also with our partners, as you can see the logo in the top right, VCO Esports, along for the ride this season, and a very welcome partnership at that. They have some in-house photographers taking some very, very nice pictures of these cars. There are a lot of them flying around these tracks. Tricky lighting conditions last time out of Tsukuba as the sun was rising, but this time a lot brighter and some great pictures. We've actually got a different photographer today, so welcome. I think... I'm going to be honest, this is a complete guess. I'm pretty sure last week Last 2 weeks we had Iku. Might have had that wrong. I will learn your names, VCO guys. Don't worry. And let's not forget, I'm pretty sure, I want to say Sam. It begins with S. I know it begins with S. With us tonight. Florian is obviously, well, he's the big boss, shall we say, of VCO Esports. He's not with us right now, but he is, of course, supporting us along the way with this partnership. Another partnership we should mention that you may have seen their logo in the top right, GT Omega Racing. This is the VW Jetta Cup powered by GT Omega Racing. They are supplying your championship leader, winner, your champion of this season, with an ART cockpit. Can't remember the exact brand. How bad is that? Terrible organizer. ART Pro? I know it's worth over £300. So one lucky winner will be getting themselves a little cockpit. Believe it or not, quite a few of our drivers, even though, and I know this sounds cheesy every time I say it, but even though even though these are the best Jetta drivers on the game. There, I said it. I said it. What can I say? Oliver dropped from 17th to 30th. It was Ray Oliver that had an incident. There you go. Thank you, Aleki in chat. Although these are genuinely some of the best Jetta drivers on the game, a majority of them actually sit on like office chairs with little steering wheels attached to their desks. So that prize is a welcome one for many of them. Some people have some very fancy setups, let's not lie. Some of them have some triple screens and all of that jazz. Ryan ran out of fuel, so he says Theon Smith. Oh dear, he's going to get a telling off. Ryan Smith will get a telling off for running out of fuel. How has he done that? On a gallon of fuel? Everyone should have made it to the end. He must have been racing so hard. Rumour has it you can get fuel leaks now from contact, but I'm not sure that's a true rumour. I'd be interested to see if he did run out of fuel when we watch the replay back, because if it is, that is a problem. For future rounds, let alone this one. I'm trying to find right now, very quickly, if I just have a look. Did many fuel tests before the season begun. Fuel around here should last 17 laps. And this race was 15. I think that is unlikely. I'm not calling him a liar, though. So did Sebastian. What? What is going on? It was close. 0.3 litres left. So did Sebastian. This is madness. Some people, I don't know if this is weather conditions or what, but the fuel consumption increasing is a dangerous concept for the future races. Maybe fuel saving is part of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. Who knew? Who'd have thought it? I mean, it is a diesel. Shouldn't need it. We're 5 seconds away from jumping into the feature race. I didn't really take much of a break, did I? I like keeping you guys company all the way through this. Peon says, I think he was just slow. Ooh. We do love a burn through here. Oh, dear. There we go. I've got a drink. I've had a drink of water. And we're ready. Feature race is going to be 25 laps, I believe. Ah, do you know what I've just remembered? The grid. Quick time. We need to do this. Henry Morse takes pole. Austin Farr, Morgan Burkhardt, Joshua Germany, Chris Smith, John Bailiff, Stephen King, Donny Henriksen, Kieran Dempsey, Carl Ridley, Jack Lewin and Jake Cranston are your top 12. Dan Blake, Jared Kaler, Andre Majorek, Alexander Van der Velde, Sam Van Olst, Martin Wallace, Andy Fox and Dan Downing. Your next 10. Ika LeQuay, Gregory Otley, Sebastian Hall, Michael Jameson Huffman, Ika, Ryan Smith, Dan Thornton, Ray Oliver, Jesus Mundere, Christian Ribera, Jan Weiswanger and Duncan Murray round off your entire grid. Done it. Have that. 20 seconds left as well to spare, although that 20 seconds would have cut off if they all readied up, which they have. The lights are on. Here we go for our feature race. It's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights, and away they go for the feature race here for round 2 round Okayama Short Circuit. This is a lovely shot of that building as they all filter round through there. Now look at them going into turn 1. Henry Morse has had a hell of a start. He's clearly leading as we've got 2 side by side. Look at all the cars filtering through turn 1. I just haven't seen so many. I love seeing so many of these cars on track at once. And a couple of side by sides through turns 2 and 3, which is risky business as a win it or bin it car makes contact with Dan Downing near the back there. And there's still side by side through here. I'll tell you who's one to watch this race. We have to watch your championship leader. He's in 12th place at the moment, is Jake Cranston. How easy is he going to find it passing? Remember, they can't pit until lap 5. You cannot pit until lap 5 because that is just the way it should be. Ellen, shall we vote for Jake? Jerry Agard already talking about Jared of the day. That's because Jared Kaler's on screen. Driver of the day. They're going side by side into the final corner, and Jake Cranston looks up the inside of Dan Blake. Jack Lewin's made it through. Can Jake Cranston? Oh, there's contact there. That was a hell of a hit. I wonder. Oh, he's not going to be happy with that as he goes down the order a little bit. Is that going to be a meatball, or is he going to be able to carry on? Jared Kaler's now looking up the inside of Jake Cranston. Jake Cranston goes to the inside of Dan Blake. Alexander Van der Velde goes around the outside of Jared Kaler in his lovely new little pink livery that says "Made for Me" on the side. This little midfield battle is looking too strong to go and find out what's happened at the front as Alexander Van der Vood and Jared Van der Velde, Jared Kaler still side by side through there. Who's going to come out on top of this little fight as they head down the straight? Andre Majorek is watching closely as they're still side by side, and Jared comes out in front, cuts across and defends to the inside of this first hairpin, and now Alex is going around the outside. Can he get his nose in? Not quite. Jared shuts the door, aggressive but fair, and there's contact, and around another car goes. Alexander Van der Vood has made contact with another driver. Jared Kaler goes round, but he's still in this race. He comes out in the midfield, and now he's going to be one trying to find his way back up that grid and gain as many points as he can. It is unfortunate, but we need to watch it back. Jan Weisfanger almost gaining a place there, and there's a couple of Zero Forks giving cars back there. Look at them all come down the main straight, weaving left and right. There's Ryan Smith with your green mirrors. ORD car. Sam Van Os cuts to the inside to defend from Andre Majorek. Greg Otley and Dan Downing are together on track once again. Let's hope they don't crash. And Jameson Huffman round the outside of Andy Fox there in turn 1. Can he hold that? He's going to try and follow his teammate through. Martin Wallace, who is ahead of Andy at the moment, who's on the inside. There's contact up ahead. Is anyone spun? No, they've survived. Martin Wallace, I think, has come out ahead of that battle. Andy Fox, yes, he has, but Jameson Huffman has to tuck in behind, and now Ray Oliver's looking to gain advantage here in the number 19 Down Under Sim Esports car. Smith and King have swapped places back here. There's a hell of a battle going on at the top. What is going on here? That's Henry Morse up ahead. Morgan Burkhardt again, a strong driver in P2. Joshua Germany in P3. Austin Farr is currently under pressure from Chris Smith as Stephen King is trying to get past rapidly. Chris Smith in P5 with Stephen King right behind, and Donny Alpha Henriksen, who's one to help out sometimes, but is he going to help out another team? I doubt it. Or is he going to try and make moves? As Dan Blake is looking very aggressive on the defense there with someone right behind him. Of course, it's Jake Cranston. He doesn't want to let that man through, and rightly so. That is last year's champion and the current championship leader, as Jake Cranston stays in 12th place at the moment, trying to get a switchback on Dan Blake. He nearly gets his nose and he can't. Dan moves across. Great move from Dan Blake as he defends from Jake Cranston up ahead. Jack Lewin and Kieran Dempsey going side by side through 2 and 3. Wow. Battles all over the place. Now the feature race is really hotting up. Something's going on at the back. That was Dan Thornton. Why? I'll tell you what, I've just realised. Why is John Bailiff down in 30th place? No one's noticed that. What has happened to him? He's jumped to the pit somewhere. That is going to be a shock that we missed that. John Bailiff. Let's just click on this and see if he's still in the race at the moment. I wonder if he didn't start the race, because it's saying he's a lap down. He hasn't disconnected, has he? That'd be a shame if he has. Won't be happy with that. Andy Fox will be. He's getting some points at the moment in P19. Andre Mayorex coming under pressure, though, up ahead. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Dan Downing with another... it's got to be said on stream. 100% getting a penalty today is Dan Downing. He's taken out Greg Otley again. What are the chances? Greg absolutely couldn't do anything there. Dan is just too keen on those brakes. He's putting his car in gaps that aren't really opening up. I might have to watch a replay of that because I've forgotten who he hit first. It wasn't quite Greg. Greg was on the outside. That's not the right one. Andre Majorek just turns into turn 1. Dan Downing puts his nose there. Greg Otley comes off the worst. Can get quite angry, can Greg. Jameson Huffman's been in the pits already. Surely it's not lap 5 yet, is it? If it is, we're flying. It is lap 5, so they are allowed to pit. Andy Fox comes in. He thinks I'll have some of that as well, as do some of these drivers at the back. People pitting already on lap 5, so they have read the rules. This is tense indeed. Duncan Murray comes in the pits. Dan Thornton. Greg Otley makes the right choice. He might have damage, so he's going to get that fixed. But up the front, what is it looking like? Henry Morse leads Morgan Burkhardt still. Joshua Germany in P3. Austin Farr and Stephen King shoots up the inside of Christopher Smith there. Can he get it done before the next hairpin? Oh, gives Chris room, and rightly so, but he needs to hold it round the outside of the hairpin. Can he now hold it down to the next fast right-hander? We've seen him pull this move off once before. It's going to be tight, and will Chris give him room? They go around the first fast right as Jack Lewin comes into the pits. Far behind, they go into the final corner. There's going to be contact there, surely. No, he makes it. It was tight through there, but Stephen King passes Christopher Smith up into P5, and Donny Alpha Henriksen is now going to look to the inside of T1, or is he not? Chris Smith looks... Is he going to stick his nose? Is he going to brake as late as he can? No. Yes. No. Yes. Oh, it gets really close. A bit of a lock up from Chris there. Wow. Very tight from this field at the top end. We need to see the track map because people are pitting left, right and centre. And I just cannot keep track of who's pit or not. Yeezus Munde is in his favourite place, the pit lane. We all know about him and the pits. I'm sure he's going to get points at some point, is old Yeezus. Well, he's got points already. Jake Cranston, still here in P10. So the positions he has gained would have been people pitting. I'm sure he's got a smart enough head on him to know that he doesn't need to take too many risks as a championship leader. But he sends it up the inside of the number 27 there of Kyle Ridley. Oh, he is coming. Oh, Kyle makes a late move to the pit lane. Let's see if this works out nicely. The pit lane speed limit is not till well after this right-hander. It's up there where the yellow cones are. They all come in together. So Jake, I would imagine, would have lost some time there. With Kyle Ridley really darting in last second. Donny Alpha Henriksen's gone in as well. So the two Masters of Torque cars will be able to slipstream each other. The track map is on. Let's have a look at pit stops also. This is what it looks like. So we've got a few stoppers out there. Jake Cranston actually jumps them all in the pits. Look at that. He comes out ahead of Kyle Ridley. He jumps them both. So he's gained 2 positions in his pit stop. Is he going to make it to the end on fuel? He's going to have to do some fuel saving, I reckon, if he's just cut that much time off the pit stops compared to the others. It's lap 8 out of 25. Now he's got some clear air. What can Jake Cranston do? He got pole position, so he's got the speed. But look who's ahead of him, who also pit. It's Jack Lewin still. So he's going to defend for that. He's currently in P19. That is the amazing pit stop race that we are seeing. Those two well up the grid. So when the pit stops sort themselves out, those two will find themselves back up the order somewhere. Currently, Christian Ribeiro and Jan Weiswanger are in P17 and 18 fighting away. Here they are. Meatball Motorsport and Lurchers Gaming in the points. Is what we like to see. John Bailiff is out on track now, but a lap down, I believe. And Sebastian Hallmichael is showing us out, so I wonder if that's just a connection issue. Or is he actually out of the race? I didn't see a crash involving Seb. Who haven't we seen so far today? Henry Morse and Morgan Burkhardt racing close up the front. Austin Farr chasing down Joshua Germany, but has Stephen King for company. Chris Smith putting up a hell of a defence for Stephen, but just couldn't hold it, and it was really tight. Impressed with Chris's driving today. Kieran Dempsey, we've seen him a bit. Dan Blake and Alex van der Velde, here they are. Alex probably under investigation. In fact, just for the fun, should we do this? Ah, it's being blocked out by the pit stop. Pit stop graphics as we see Downing, Smith and Ribeiro come into the pits. Sam Van Olst. Been quiet in the feature. P10 at the moment though. Good showing. Martin Wallace and Ray Oliver. Ika LeQuay and Jared Kaler. Rounding off your top 14. Where is Mr. Thornton? I feel like I haven't seen Thornton for a bit. Here he is. P27 at the moment. Chasing down your man Duncan Murray. The only South African on the grid. Thornton currently has Otley and Mayerek behind. In terms of pit stops, it looks like this. So everyone has stopped in this area of the track. as we see Dempsey and Smith come into the pits now. So this will be interesting. Your lead stopper so far is Jack Lewin as he comes round the final 2 corners now. Here he goes. Where is Chris Smith and Kieran Dempsey going to come out in regards to Jack Lewin and Jake Cranston? They're still in the pit box at the moment. Chris Smith is leaving the pit box now, as is Kieran Dempsey. This is going to be tight. So Jack Lewin, Jake Cranston coming down the straight at full speed. Kieran Dempsey's been passed, but Chris Smith comes out in front of both of them. So Kieran Dempsey losing 3 places there in the pit stop. Kyle Ridley comes round the outside of turn 1. Show pit stops, says Jerry Agard. This is what this looks like. Pit stop strategies. So Bailiff actually started in the pits, which is why all of his bar is blue. I wonder what happened to him. Went for a toilet break. Missed the start, I imagine. It's the only thing I can think of. Jan Weisbanger is the only one down there that had... Well, it looks like he hadn't pitted, but he must have by now. I imagine that will change when he crosses the line. But the top guys looking ever closer. Let's have a look. Morgan Burkhardt, what's it looking like from his point of view? Henry's got a bit of a dented bumper there. Into the double hairpin they go. This is your lead battle. After 12 laps of racing here at Okayama, this is Morgan Burkhardt chasing down Henry Morse, your leader. And don't think for a second that it's just those two, because right behind is Joshua Germany in P3, Austin Farr in P4, and Stephen King in P5, with a little bit of a gap back to Dan Blake. So your top 5, none of them have pitted yet. We're on lap 12 of 25. We're nearly halfway. Go Henry and Austin. Let's go more, says Stealth Snip 3 Rad on Twitch. Attaboys, he says. I wonder what Stephen King's doing here. Maybe he's just cooling down his tyres in that dirty air as Martin Wallace comes into the pits. Dan Blake pretty much by himself at the moment, actually, is Dan. He's got Sam Van Olst back there. Martin Wallace. No one in the pits with him. But where is he going to come out? He's going to get passed by... Oh, this is a long stop from Martin. This is a long old stop from Martin. 11 seconds he was stationary. Compare that to Dan Downing, who's just about to pass him with 8 seconds. He's lost 3 seconds to Dan. So Martin knows what he needs to work on next race for sure. I'll tell you who was the really short stop was Chris Smith. 7.5 seconds he was stationary in the pits for. So Chris Smith's boys really doing him justice in the pit stops there. That's why he came out ahead of Lewin and Cranston, but he's going to have to do some fuel saving, surely. Let's go, Jared Kaler. Don't hit that wall. We've got an American fan in there, really bigging up all the American drivers. It does look like Chris Smith. I'll tell you what, note that down, people. If it's not, well, it will be recorded on stream, but Chris Smith at the moment taking the pit stop, fastest pit stop DHL award, whatever you want to call it. 39 seconds was his total pit lane time. And your next boy was Jack Lewin, who is looking up the inside of Chris. For turn 1, he gets his nose in slightly, goes to send it. It's not really a sendy corner, to be honest. He's made it through. Oh, Chris going deep there. Who's right behind him? It's your champion, Jake Cranston. Looking at Jack Lewin and Chris Smith up ahead. I'll tell you what I have just noticed. This is not good for Morgan. He was P2. And now he's in P... Oh, this is news. This is news. I can't believe I've missed this. Morgan Burkhardt had pitted, and he's come out behind all of those. And now 2 of the Pulsars boys are pitting. That is Henry Morse and Joshua Germany and Austin Farr. This was your lead battle. They're going to really need to nail these pit stops if they want to come out in the lead. You can see Chris Smith. He's coming around the final corner on the track map now. This is what it looks like. Who's leaving the pits? Henry Morse is leaving the pits already, as is Joshua Germany, who's jumped Austin Farr in the pit lane. But Chris Smith's got hella speed coming down the straight. Jack Lewin's going to pass him on the inside, and there's going to be cars coming out the pit lane. Joshua Germany, can he hold it? He's on the inside as they go side by side round turn 1, and Joshua Germany moves across to defend from Jack Lewin. Don't touch, boys, as you go into turn 2. Jake Cranston trying to make gains as he looks to go side by side. Chris Smith and Jack Lewin side by side through turn 2 and 3. Chris Smith has the inside, though. He's going to hold it, and Jake Cranston, I imagine, is going to slot his car there. Yes, he does. He's on the inside of Jack Lewin. Can he send it on Chris? If I was Chris, I would defend from Jake because he's a lunger on the brakes sometimes. But Jake doesn't lunge on the brakes. He's trying to concentrate on Jack Lewin as there was a bit of contact behind between one of the down undercars and Martin Wallace, I imagine. You got Kyle Ridley, Morgan Burkhardt is the Zero Forks giving car involved in that battle. And Kieran Dempsey looking at it as well. It's all tight there as Stephen King now comes into the pits. So who is going to come out here? Henry Morse is going to pass him easily for sure. Joshua Germany needs to hold up that whole train if Stephen's going to try and gain from this. There's Stephen King. Who's going to come out? Joshua Germany's coming flying down the straight. What is going to happen? Stephen King's going to take P2, is he? Yes, he is. He slots in between Henry Morse and Joshua Germany, who's currently in P3. There's no way they could have planned this. This is not strategy. At the moment of your pit stoppers, Henry Morse, Stephen King and Joshua Germany are your lead 3 cars. That is another Pulsars 1, 2, 3 for your second race in a row. Week 1, though, they binned it in the pit stop phase. Week 2, they fixed it in the pit stop phase. Who is going to come out on top of this battle, though? Because Stephen King and Henry Morse look like they're fighting up ahead. What are they doing? Henry Morse, your leader. He's led from start till now. Chris Smith is the only buffer between them. Jack Lewin and Jake Cranston. Can Chris hold on in his own right for Team ORD in P7? Jake Cranston really is trying. He's playing it safe, though, and it's good to see that they aren't making stupid moves to gain those points, because let's face it, in the championship this tight as Henry Morse comes into the pit lane. There we go. I said it was too good to be true. Henry Morse making his second stop and throwing another 1, 2, 3 down the drain. I wonder why. Was it a meatball, and was it from Stephen King? That's the real question, because that is going to be a crying shame if it was. I said they fixed it. They ruined it. Ellen Brown with the smile face, and that is our 100th message in chat. Well done, guys. Thank you for that. I don't know if that does anything, but Henry Morse is still in the pits. He comes out in 26th place, does Henry Morse, with 8 laps to go. Dan Blake now pits on lap 17, as there was contact there. Who was that? Oh no, it's one of the Zero Forks cars. Is that Jameson Huffman and Duncan Murray? Can we get a replay? Replay, please. Oh, there was Dan. Oh, it's not Dan Thornton. It's Ryan Smith on the inside. Jameson holds it. I tell you what, Jameson does well to save that. Can we do that again? Do it in slow motion. I want to see what exactly happens. So Jameson actually slams on his brakes quite hard there. Ryan thinks, okay, I'll take the inside. It was a bit of a late decision from Ryan, to be honest. Jameson comes round. Ryan then brakes to stop him from getting tagged fully round. Jameson saves it, and off they go. There is no inside. You are right, Sebastian Holmichael. There was no inside there. Optimistic, shall we say, from the youngest driver on the grid. But he did run out of fuel potentially in the first race, so Henry bottled it, sad face, says 2 in heck. Drive through, says Jerry Agard. That is a good shout, although it was a long drive through if it was. Did Henry Morse have 24x? If he did, I'll be fuming that I didn't up the limit of X's, but it is what it is. The limit is there. They all know it. They can see it on their screens, but I'll tell you who it is a bonus for. This man, Christopher Smith, is currently on for a podium here at round 2. I'm sure he'll be over the moon if he can keep that, but he has got 2 of the most... I say 2. Jake Cranston looks to have backed off a bit. He's got Jack Lewin behind him. Not enough fuel. Race is close again, just like last week. Buzzing. 6 more laps indeed. I wonder if Henry didn't put enough fuel in. I doubt it, because the others are all still going, and there was some very, very quick stops. The pit strategy looks like this. So you can see Dan Blake, the latest pit stopper, on lap 17, really pushing it to the edge. Good effort. Sebastian Hallmichael, I saw him in chat. Let us know what happened to you, sir. Did you start this race? Oh, get that track map back. I like seeing where everyone is. I believe, apart from John Bailiff, who appeared to have not started this race, everyone is on the lead lap, which is great to see. Alexander van der Velde has got Donnie Henriksen for company, with Dan Blake right behind him. Oh, that's fair enough. Real life got in the way of Seb, but that's fine. It happens. It does happen. Donny Henriksen. Can he gain a top 10 finish here and chase down Alexander van der Velde? Seventh could be possible, says 2 in heck for Alex. I think, I'm not being harsh in saying this is no reflection on Alex, but I reckon 7th is optimistic from this point. He is in P10 and he's currently 2 seconds back from Dempsey, Ridley, Burkhardt, Farr. Burkhardt is currently in P7. They're not easy people to pass, you know. That's why I'm saying it. So he could close the gap, but passing them is a whole other story. Someone, that's a famous person's quote, that is. Henry Morse is pit again. Has he had enough? I think he's quit. He's had enough. He's retiring. Is this going to go down as a DNF for Henry Morse? Rage quit, potentially. Alecki, any penalty? Any penalty for who, sir? There probably will be some penalties from the sprint race. I do have to, I'm going to say it again, and hopefully it doesn't get ruined in the last 4 laps. Pleasantly surprised with the outcome of this race, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Tsukuba was a short and twisty track, which is what gave me the expectation. But it was their first round together as 32 very skilled drivers. It was going to go one of 2 ways. I'll tell you what it's time for. With 4 laps to go, it is your vote driver of the day time. You need to put in chat, #vote followed by your driver. Just any chat you want. Doesn't matter where you're watching. VCO Esports, Racing Line, Twitch or YouTube. Comment in chat, #vote followed by your driver. As Jake Cranston sends it up the inside of turn 2 on Jack Lewin. Can he get that done? It's a hell of a move if he can, but Jack Lewin has the inside of 3. He's not going to give that up easily, is Jack, and he runs him out of road. Don't do the little pit maneuver, please, boys. Just curious if there's any penalties given. There will be. We watch it back after the race, Alecki, for any 5-second time penalties. In-game penalties are given at 24x onwards. It's a drive-through at 24x. And then I think it's either another drive-through or disqualification, a further 8x after that, but very unlikely. I don't think we've ever seen a disqualification. We have seen 2 drive-throughs last season. Don't recall seeing any drive-throughs this season, unless that is what happened to Henry Morse before he did not finish today's race. We've got a #vote for Jared Kaler. We've got a vote for Chris Smith. We've got a vote for Jake Cranston and Sam Van Olst. We've got 2 votes for Sam Van Olst. Potentially your driver of the day. He's gained 3 places in this race. He's currently here not by himself in P14. He's got Dan Downing behind him and Ray Oliver. So he's currently the biggest fan. He's got the biggest fan base. Dan Thornton gets a vote there from Liz. Kyle Ridley. Sam Van Olst gets another vote. I think that's 3. Duncan Murray gets a vote. Your biggest position gainer so far, for those wondering, is actually this man, Ray Oliver, in P16, has gained 11 places. Next up, we haven't actually seen him this race, so he's done that under the radar, flying through the field. He's got Dan Downing next up. There's 2 laps left of the race, as Joshua Germany has a bit of a gap to Stephen now. But he has got Chris Smith all over the back of him. These 2 have come together before. It was a qualifying session, but they have hit each other before. That'll be firmly in Josh's mind because it was Chris who hit the back of him. Hard. It was. The Belgian genius votes Sam Van Olst, Alexander van der Wood, Donny Henriksen, Duncan Murray. I'm going to have to count these afterwards. We've got another Duncan. We've got another Jake Cranston. Jake Cranston, where is he? Currently in P5. He has done well. He's up 7 places, but as is Jack Lewin, who stayed ahead of him the whole time. Jack Lewin's had a cracking race, as has Down Under Sim Esports with a P6 and a P7 here. They're going to get a lot of points today. Ray Oliver's also getting points down in P16, up 11 places. Lap 24 of 25, and this is the gap. Stephen King leads with Joshua Germany, his wingman, in P2. It was P2 and 3 for these 2, with Henry Morse in the lead, before he had to pit for some unknown reason and ruin their second chance of a 1-2-3. But he's got to say it's promising for Pulsus Esports, who were leading the constructors before this. Are they still going to be leading, even though there's only 2 cars now in the points? But they are in the top points playing positions. Let's not ruin it. We're on our final lap, and that is the gap between the leader all the way back down to Martin Wallace, I think. Wow, they're coming around the final corner. That's Andy Fox behind in P19, so he's gaining some more points, and he is currently racing Ika Lequay for P18. Can he get it done? Andy Fox looks to the outside. I think Ray Oliver's just passed Dan Downing up ahead as well. It sounded like contact. I hope it wasn't from those two. It is from those two. Dan Downing's on the grass. He's going to spin. Can he hold it on the track? Dan Downing, he can. Oh dear. Dan has been in the wars today once again. Martin Wallace is there. Andy Fox, P18, so he did pass Ika. I wonder if there was contact there. I need to find that replay. Quick time. Andy Fox passed Ika Lequay. There it is. So he made it stick round the outside quickly before they finish the race. He gets a switchback, does Andy Fox. What a move. Bit of contact on the exit, but really well done. And Jesus Amundere is going to take advantage. We need to go back live, boys. Jesus Amundere with a hell of a move. Oh, I have missed it. I knew it. The replay was too long. But Stephen King is your feature race winner with Joshua Germany in P2. It's a pulseless 1-2, and Christopher Smith holds on for P3. Let's have a look. I'll tell you, we can watch this properly because we don't want to miss what actually happened at the end. How close was it? We want to see him actually cross the line. This is Stephen King coming round the final hairpin. He's got a nice clear run. It's looking really close between those next 4. 6 even, if you count the down under cars. And this is Stephen's view as he moves over to the right-hand side. Did I just hear a fuel lift? And across the line. It was very close between Chris and Josh. Wow. What can I say? Joshua Germany absolutely buzzing with that. Look at him, look, weaving from side to side. Joshua Germany. This is what it looks like from inside his car. He stopped weaving now, but you can see Stephen King next to him back there. The Pulsus boys bringing it home side by side. Just missing one car. Dan Downing jumps in chat and votes for himself by saying he's got double points today. We don't know if those points are going to stand. Depends on the penalties, if any. I think it's time to break down those results and do some interviews, don't you? Let's do it. The results then for this feature race look like this. Stephen King, 48 points, half a second ahead of Joshua Germany in the end. Cracking effort from those two, sorted it out in the pit stops. Chris Smith comes home in a brilliant P3 for ORD Racing. Jack Lewin, a strong P4 with Jake Cranston in P5 in the end, and 32 well-deserved points. Austin Farr and Carl Ridley for Down Under Sim Esports, collecting 58 points together for their team. They're in P6 and 7. Morgan Burkhardt comes home in P8 with 26 points. Kieran Dempsey and Donny Henriksen rounding off your top 10. Donny will be a lot happier with that, I imagine, this week. Some decent points there compared to round 1. Alexander van der Velde, 20 points for P11. Dan Blake, Jared Kaler. Jared Kaler's done well to come back. He had an earlier instance. Sam Van Alsten, P14. Ray Oliver, P15. Dan Downing, P16. Martin Wallace, P17. Andy Fox, Jesus Amundere, and Ika Lequay rounding off your points finishers. So double points for Lurchus Gaming. Also, your non-point scorers for this race are Ryan Smith in P21, Jameson Huffman 22nd, Duncan Murray 23rd, Christian Ribeiro 24th, Dan Thornton in 25th, Greg Otley having a crash in both races caused by Dan Downing in P26. Andre Mayerek in P27 may have been because of that crash. Also, Jan Weiswanger in 28th. John Bailiff. Got to love Virgin Internet, he says. So, I was right. He did not start the race. He's in the pit lane. He was Blinky Boy, wasn't he, in the earlier races. 3 laps down in the end, so he didn't do too bad. Henry Morse, 7 laps down. Did he quit that early? It didn't feel like that. And Sebastian Hallmichael having to deal with the family. 25 laps down in the end in 32nd place. Jack Lewin pops up in chat and says he is happy with that, and rightly so. It was a hell of a race. I'm a little bit in cooldown mode, to be honest. Extremely close, as per usual. And relatively, genuinely, cleaner than expected, and in a good way. Like, I always expect it to be clean, of course. High expectations and all that. But it is a tight track. They are some very feisty drivers. Some big egos out there. Very high speed in this car. Crashes happen. People get keen. There's a championship at stake. There's no drop rounds. Maybe that's playing a part. People are playing it safer. I hope they are. I hope it stays that way. There's still a few silly mistakes, which we hope to iron out for the next round, which will be at Oran Park, which is actually the biggest circuit that we've raced on so far. Not necessarily the widest. Okayama's pretty wide, but the longest circuit with around a 1 minute 17 lap time. Let's count up the driver of the day votes, shall we? For those of you that voted driver of the day, of course, you, well, I know. Well, I need to go back and count them, basically. You hashtag voted, you put their names in. Let's have a look. See, Sam Van Olst, 1. Jake Cranston, 1. Chris Smith, 1. Jared Kaler, 1. Jake Cranston, 2. Sam Van Olst, 2. Carl Ridley, 1. Sam Van Olst, 3. Dan Thornton, 1. Duncan Murray, 1. Donnie Henriksen, 1. Alexander Van der Velde, 1. Sam Van Olst, 4. Jake Cranston, 3. Duncan, 2. Donnie Henriksen, 2. Jake Cranston, 4. Lewin, 1. Cranston, 5. Dan Downing voted for himself. We won't count that. Got 0x in both, says Lewin. Don't know how you did that. Props to you. You deserve an extra point. I'm not going to give you one, but Jack Lewin, 0x in both those races. Madness. Get Lewin on the mic, says Jerry Agard. Liz Create says, well done. Peter Ridley says, yeah, great racing all. I'll tell you what. Voting has ended. Jake Cranston wins 5-4 votes of driver of the day. In fact, I'll put that in chat. Let's make it official. Jake Cranston, driver of the day. 5. No extra points, Jerry. Don't be silly. 5 votes. Sam Van Olst, 4 votes. There you go. Now it's in writing. It's a done deal. It's interview time, people. Let's get those interviews going. We can get rid of the results, although sometimes I do need them to remind me what happened in the race because so much happens. It's always so close. Where's chat at? Have we got anyone? We have got a few people in the interview waiting room. It's got to be this man, hasn't it? The first up I need to speak to, the one I want to speak to the most right now, has to be Christopher Smith for ORD Racing. Chris, hang on a second.
Hello there.
Let me just check that people can hear you. Go on, talk again.
Hi.
Yeah, I reckon they can.
I want to thank my mum. I want to thank my dad.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody.
Oh, Chris, understandably, got to be buzzing with that, surely.
Yeah. It was close though, wasn't it? I mean, even at the end there, I thought I might have gotten past Joshua Germany, but he lost the drag, I think, from Stephen at one point. He got about 1.3 seconds away, and then I think a bit of team tactics came in, and Stephen lifted and came back within, slipstream distance, which is about 1.1 seconds. So, keeping within that sweet spot is so important. And so, yeah.
It's interesting that you say they might have done that on purpose. Risky for Stephen in the lead, but at the same time, like you said, slipstream can be helpful, can't it, if you're under pressure?
I think Stephen was sitting pretty up front. I mean, yeah, he was so fast. He had no slipstream at all, and we were just keeping up. It was mad. In fact, he was actually pulling away a little bit. He's so fast around here.
He's done well in that race, and it looked like he was going to pass Henry on merit, but obviously something happened to Henry. I don't know if that was mentioned in chat or anyone knows what happened to him, but they threw away another 1, 2, 3 at that point.
I know. I thought maybe like a speeding penalty or something, but I mean, the guys in the Pulsars chat, apparently they don't speak to Henry because he's in chat with Jared.
Yeah.
Kayla.
Yeah.
So I think they're a bit in the dark as well, but potentially forgot to fuel his car. But you'd have to hear it from the horses
Maybe
now.
we'll find out from him. But this is about you, Christopher Smith. We're here to talk about you. P3 in the feature race. That is a lot of points, and I have to say, I mean, I'm not. This could always come off as backhanded compliments, and they're not. But you've always had pace. in certain tracks, let's say, not every track. There's some tracks better than others, and that's the same for all drivers. But this season, so far, your pace is doubled in terms of racecraft and handling the car. What has done that? What's happened to you in a good way that's making you, at one, fight for podiums against the strongest field we've ever seen, and two, like race-wise, you're not shy anymore, Chris. You're getting involved. What's happened?
Well, I must say though, survival is important. I mean, I've kind of learned that the hard way after last season. Sometimes I feel like it's better to let Stephen King through, or if he's going for a move, is it worth fighting for? Is it worthwhile getting a meatball flag over that? I mean, yeah, there's been so many occasions last season where I was on pace and some unfortunate event happened. And yeah, sometimes, you can hold your hands up and say I had nothing to do with that. But the other side of the coin, there's always two cars involved in a crash. So you can sometimes, like I had a crash last week at Tsukuba. I was looking back at the replay, and it was a move that was done by somebody else that ended up sending me off with a meatball flag in race one. And yeah, these things happen sometimes, and you just think, is there anything I could have done differently? And gradually you learn. But yeah, I've seen good pace. I've had good luck in the qualifying as well so far. These last two races, I think I came P8.
Nah, make your own luck. Time. Make your own luck, mate.
And P4 was in it last time. P4 at Tsukuba, that was good. But yeah, qualifying is important, especially at these two tracks we've just been to, where overtaking, as you might have seen in the stream, is premium. Overtaking around here is so hard.
Yeah, but
so qualifying.
Until I watched back the replay on stream, I have been pleasantly surprised, I think, with the standard today. Because yes, it is tough overtaking, but at the same time, like you said, it always takes two cars. One of them just getting a little bit impatient or whatever can ruin that potentially. But it hasn't been too often. I think I said on stream already, there was a couple of silly ones towards the middle and the back that maybe could have been avoided, but at the same time, very touch and go in terms of whether they were meatballs or just people getting screwed, really. But it wasn't like incidents we saw last season. These are quite small in terms of crashes. It's been really good to watch, and I hope you feel the same when you watch it back.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? There's probably another huge pilot coming soon.
Yeah,
but
it'll be Orange Park for it. Turn one on the grass, everyone's dead. Simple.
Next week.
Yeah, that's it. Next week for round 3. Just before I let you go, Chris, obviously, congratulations on your podium. Is there anyone you do want to say hello or thank you to before I grab someone else?
Yeah. Thanks to my brother who's in chat. He's usually chatting away. His name's Kador Red.
Yep.
In the Twitch stream. My uncle Fergus often watches. Thanks for watching as well. Long-suffering wife for putting up with this. And the new paint, who the guy who did the paint for ORD this season again, Lee Walker. He's doing that out of the goodness of his own heart, and thanks to Lee for an awesome paint job.
That's where the extra pace is coming from, isn't it, Chris? It's all the paint.
Yeah.
All those racing stripes. Thanks, Chris. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Let's whack him back in there. Christopher Smith, always nice to chat to, and a hell of a good P3. Someone said to grab Lewin in chat. He's not actually in the waiting room, but he did have a good time. So if he does jump in there, I am sure I can grab him. Let's have a quick chat to this little weaver when he crosses the line. It's Joshua Germany, your P2 finisher of the feature race. Got a hard time last week, Josh, for ruining a 1-2-3. Passed that torch to Henry Morse this week, and you are P2.
You can have that torch, I don't want it.
Come on, you must be. I mean, I saw a little bit of weaving after the finish line. Was that pure joy, or was it just you being you?
Oh, buzzing. I think it's because Stevie was there as well. But
yes, so it's because you were there together. Is
very
that
nice,
why?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cute.
Well, on the second to last corner, I think Stevie said something like, "Get in there, Josh." And I was like, we've not even got past the last corner yet. And the last corner has probably been my weakest corner on this track. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I think it was in the sprint. I just kept getting caught every single time in that last corner. So, yeah, pretty good result. P2, I'll take that.
Jerry Agard's in chat and says pulseless bias. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think we had a speed boost, didn't we? I think we said before the race.
No, well, you done very well, and I couldn't believe it when the pit stops were done and those 3 cars were leading the way again out of everyone that stopped.
Yeah, no.
I was genuinely in shock, but of course, it wasn't to be this time round either. It'll be interesting to see the constructors after today, because although you two took honours on the 1-2, there was some strong teams behind. I think even Down Under Sim Esports came home in 6th and 7th. And Masters of Talk had some points haul as well across both of the rounds. So it's going to be close this season. I don't think it's going to be a runaway race. But, I mean, you were under pressure there from Chris for the whole time. Tell us through that.
Yeah, just a bit. I think this track, it's honestly, it's harder than Tsukuba. I think it's harder to make overtakes around there than Tsukuba. But when you look at both the layouts, especially with this massive long straight, you think it'd be pretty easy to make overtakes. But because the first corner is sort of a trail braking zone, it's not like a heavy braking zone, so you can't really. I think 1 point Chris was 2/10 behind me going to first corner, but if you're not alongside going into the braking zone, it's just impossible to make a move. And I think literally you're just banking on mistakes. You saw in that sprint race that it was literally just training and just waiting for a mistake, and then whether you can capitalize on it or not. But yeah, Chris did so well. He didn't make it easy, because I think I mentioned it to you before the race. I didn't feel confident round here at all, and I've gone and equaled my best result. So that just shows, doesn't it? It's just how it is. Sometimes you go to some tracks and you feel like you're gonna be the top 5, and then I end up spinning in the pits. So there we go.
That is right. Well, it's a hell of a round. P2 in the feature race. Well done. Oran Park next. Another track you don't feel great around?
Well, I want to redeem myself for last season, because I don't really like it. But last season I felt pretty quick, but I had a mishap in qualifying and then got crashed into in the sprint. So it was all over. So I want to go back there and hopefully at least get a top 5. Just do better than I did last season, hopefully.
Of course. I'm going to let you go, Josh. We've got a big queue outside of my interview room. So anyone you want to say hello or thank you to, or are you going to stay miserable Germany from last season? And go, nope.
I think I'll thank the Okayama pit entry, I think.
Okay, you'll thank the people who designed the pit entry here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. Whoever designed that part of the track.
Thank you, Josh. Speak to you soon.
See you later.
That was Joshua Germany. Let's have a quick chat to your race winner. Surely he's going to be over the moon with that. That was Stephen King. Going to be a quick one this time, Stephen, because we've got a queue. But at the same time, your time to shine. Glory. P1. Talk us through that race, because you had to fight for it.
I mean, yeah. It's a bit of a Monaco, but it's a Monaco with a twist, because you actually can get moves done. And there isn't really anywhere you can dive up the inside and make a move stick. It's all about being around the outside. I don't know if you caught some of it, but I was loving it around the outside of penultimate corner.
I was going to say, it seemed like your move today was around the outside of the second to last corner and then getting it done very tightly on the final corner, which was risky at best.
It was risky, but I know I was racing up against John Bailey from Christopher Smith, who are, exemplary racers. And that move I made on Chris Smith in the feature race is probably what won the feature race for me. Managing to get ahead of him and then pull away from Chris, that get me back up to the top 4 runners.
Looked extremely tight on stream, it has to be said, through the final corner. I thought contact was going to be made. Same for turn 1, because Chris didn't let you go. But you're right, it was a pivotal moment, I'm sure. Chris has got some pace this season, hasn't he?
It's brilliant. He's come on leaps and bounds, and a real asset to ORD. He's turned out to be their lead driver now. Ryan's going to have to get his finger out to get that number 1 spot in that team again.
That's right.
And it was nice to actually get my pit stop right this time. I'm not sure what happened to Henry. He's botched the 1, 2, 3 again. It was me and Josh last week.
I was going to say, in fairness, you two did it last week. He thought, do you know what, I'm missing out, and joined in this week. So maybe at Oran Park, I'm sure. A strong round for you, actually. Double win last season. What do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, you remember turns 1 and 2 at Oran Park. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. Can you get away without having a meatball? If you can survive without getting a meatball, yeah, it's a brilliant place to be able to overtake. The complex going. You don't make the move into turn one. You set it up into turn 2 and then going into the turn 3 hairpin. It does a bit more overtaking opportunities than Okayama. So that should be exciting. And you saw it when I came from 12th and managed to win the feature race. So you can do it.
Of course. Is there anyone, before I let you go, that you want to say thank you to? Of course, congratulations on your win. Yeah. Anyone you want to say hello to?
Well, shout out to everybody who tunes in every week, especially Sean, who I know is in bed. Always tuning in and watching, supporting the channel. It's lovely of her. And thanks to everyone else who watches every week. These Jettas, these amazing, powerful, noisy beasts. I know it's exciting to watch.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.
He's right there, to be fair. He said thank you to those that support and watch every week. Eternally grateful so far for the support this channel has received as we approach 3,000 subscribers. Barely a year old. A year old in July? Where are we now? July, August, September. So a year and 3 months, approaching 3,000. Thank you very much. We normally only do 3 interviews, but I think it's only right that we speak to we said we'd speak to Jack Lewin quickly, so let's bring him in and then we'll have a quick chat with Jake afterwards, the driver of the day. But Jack, talk us through that. You said you were happy in chat.
Yeah, very happy. In the sprint, got a good start, unlike Tsukuba. So I was working on that, and then happy to stick with Jake. Just couldn't quite get a run, and then I think I used my tyres a bit too much. And then in the feature, I just tried to do the opposite of what the cars in front of were doing. Got a good overtake early before the pits, and then couldn't quite challenge Christopher. So I was just trying to keep Jake behind me because I know it's kind of close in the points. So if I can not let him through, that was the ideal thing.
Yeah, that is the right attitude to have. So many people last season, and it wasn't just Jake. I think a lot of people said it was just Jake, but even people like Steven, people at the top end, people tend to let them through, then in the hope that they can follow them. But with tracks like this where it's difficult to overtake, you really want to try and hold on to everything you can. And I think you done the right thing this race by staying ahead. You both gained 7 places, so you literally finished in the order that you started. But he didn't let you have it easy, did he? I think he may have lifted off towards the end. But
with everything, and it was really respectful. I'm just thinking back to Tsukuba. It was the same kind of deal with not letting Steven through, because he was behind me then in the feature, and I was in 5th and I couldn't challenge. So it was the same kind of deal. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with being able to kind of defend from these guys. I just need a little bit extra to trying to challenge them, and it's going really well.
Well, I think, to be honest, Jack, I think you've got it. It's just going to be about consistency, and at the moment, you've shown that you've got that by being up there in both rounds. So I'm sure if you keep that going, it's going to be looking strong. Is there anyone you would like to say thank you to or hello to before I let you go?
I'll just thank you to my mum, who's helped me out getting some sim gear, like a new rig. So that's been really helpful.
There you go. Thank you very much, Jack. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Now, I've just seen him walk away from the interview room, but I'm going to bring him back in anyway. It's your driver of the day. You voted for him. It was 5 votes to 4. Jake Cranston, P5 in the feature race, P1 in the sprint race. How are you happy with that?
To be honest, I'm surprised. I didn't think you wanted to talk to me.
Well, no. Oh, come on. It was normally we only do 3 interviews, but I've extended it to 5 just so we can have
I'm so special.
Yeah, just a quick chat with, you're the reigning champion. People want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and how your race went. And if that's false news, at least Ellen does. So let's hear it, Jake. Your race. So Jack Lewin, bit of a pain in the feature, or all good?
No, I mean, he's quick enough. I can just sit behind him. There's no point trying to overtake because you lose so much time here. I was talking to Steve and Josh in the interview room. It's just you got to stay safe and you got to stay up there to get the points, because there's no point trying to move and you're just gonna fall down. So you got to stay up there, stay in the pack, and yeah,
That's
that's how
right.
you get the points.
You had a little go towards the end into 2 and 3, which is the riskiest place in my opinion, and you nearly done it.
Nearly.
But just the inside of turn 3 is too strong, isn't it?
It's a bit bouncy as well at times.
Yeah.
It's a bit unpredictable is the word I would use. And I don't want to get another slowdown because I already had one. So yeah, I had a bit of a gap behind to Austin, I think it was. So I thought I'd try something, but didn't work out. But that's all right.
Of course, of course. And driver of the day, 5 votes for you in chat for driver of the day. Of course, trying to keep as many points as you can. Difficult to overtake, which is good to see. We don't often see you finish this low, Jake. But you got some challenges this season, it appears. Is it going to stay for the whole season, though?
I wouldn't say 5th place is low. I mean, I'm quite happy with that starting in 12th.
Hang on, you misinterpret it. For you, compared to last season, 5th is a low play. We don't often see you down here. Obviously, it's not low, and I wouldn't be adverse to seeing you finish lower in some of the other rounds, but at the same time, that's just in the interest of keeping it close. But I don't think I need to fake it, because you guys are all you're going to fight out for the whole 10 rounds anyway.
That's so close. Yeah.
It is really close, and it's good to see. And I'm sure you're all enjoying it. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go, Jake, and we start breaking down this race?
I just want to say hello to my 5 fans who voted for me for driver of the day. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, shall I say?
Muchly appreciated. We'll keep
Muchly
that one.
appreciated. Yeah.
And not going to say hello to Ellen?
Hi, Ellen.
There you go.
Love you.
That's it. Thank you very much, Jake. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon, and congrats on your race today.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Jake Cranston there, last season's champion and championship leader entering this race, and we'll go through the points next race. That is pretty much it for this week. Thank you all for joining in chat. Thank you for your votes. Thank you for supporting. Thank you to the racers for keeping it kind of clean. That's pretty much it. As usual, that's pretty much it from me. Next week, we're at Oran Park. Don't forget to tune in at 8:20 on Monday. Same thing again. Close racing. Hopefully less crashes, but just as close battles. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace!